In 2014, we left our home in the southeast of England and moved to a remote Scottish location. This is our story. Welcome to my channel. As you saw from the thumbnail, it's about my Scottish retreat and a Druid's life in the Highlands. So first of all, let's talk about where I am. I'm in Scotland, but I'm on the west coast. To be specific, I live on the Ardnamurchan peninsula, which is a long, narrow piece of land sticking out into the Sea of the Hebrides. Very remote by local standards and with varying weather conditions, shall we say, from benign like today to really quite severe at times. But it's part of actually that desire to interact with nature that brought us here. So I've told you where we are. So what's special about it? Well, what is special about it is that Loch Sunart, which lies to the south of the peninsula, is a special area of conservation for its wildlife, both marine and terrestrial. But the actual land alongside Loch Sunart for about 20 miles is a site of special scientific interest. And that's because it's not only a temperate rainforest, but it's also one of the few locations where there is acid oak woodland. And that woodland has a specific flora associated with it in terms of mosses and liverworts and lichens and fungus, etc. So I actually live in a site of special scientific interest, which is always a complete joy to behold. But when we have guests, and I consider you a guest, what we do, we take them out and show them around. We walk them up the hill behind the house, and there's again wild land, and in fact probably maybe 200 square miles of uninhabited terrain just at the top of our property. So how about coming for a walk in the woods? Let's go. So this track leads up into the woods. It doesn't actually go that far, maybe 100 yards, and then it swings out to the west and then disappears. And it's an old track. Why it was built, I don't know, but you can clearly see that it's been cut into the ground. This is one of my favourite places. We're coming up to something we call the rock oak, and the rock oak is a tree, an oak tree, a very old oak tree that actually appears to be growing out of what is most likely a Bronze Age, possibly an Iron Age tomb. Now let me take you up and just show you it. As you can see, it's a mighty tree. It could easily be 400 years old, from what we're told. And if we come around this side, just to here, you can see the capstone. And it seems that as the tree grew, it pushed this considerable sized piece of rock up and snapped it completely in half. We also take guests out to the point of Ardnamurchan, where there's a lighthouse and a very nice cafe. And so come with me and we'll go there. I filmed this in March and it will give you a good indication of what the weather conditions can be like. It was a pretty wild day. I'm here at the point of Ardnamurchan. It's on the west coast of Scotland. It's the furthest west point of the British mainland. It's about 45 minutes, 50 minutes drive from my house along single track roads, and it's a most remote location. But it's also one of the most wild and stunning locations that you could imagine. Just looking out to sea here, you've got the island of Rum in the background, which is in the light. And then in the dark in front of that is the Isle of Muck, and then round to the right is the Isle of Egg. And between the two, and it's rather difficult to see in this light, there is actually a whole range of mountains that are at the southern end of the Isle of Skye, the Cuillins. One aspect of being stuck out here in the Sea of the Hebrides is that there is normally quite a bit of whale activity, and there's a little observation post here where people sit and actually watch the whales, or watch for whales to come past. And this is the little cabin. There's this sign up here. But as you can see, it's built onto the living rock. There's ferns growing in here. And this is another poster in this little observation post. You can see the Hill of the Great Sea, 35 metre high Ardnamurchan lighthouse. It's a wild and woolly day here. Having trouble keeping my hat on actually, but I'm actually just in standing quarters. An important part of my life is meeting nature on nature's terms, and you certainly get the opportunity to do that living here. The other place we take people is Sanna Bay. It's located just north of the lighthouse and is a mile or so long beach, sandy beach, beautiful untouched place with a fairly extensive network of dunes, sand dunes behind it, and a few houses that was once an old crofting township. When I filmed this, although it was earlier in the year, it was actually quite a pleasant day. So I did what I normally do, took my clothes off and went for a swim. So come with me and see what Sanna Bay is like. It's a lovely day here in Ardnamurchan, so I've decided to drive out to the beach, take the dog for a walk and have a swim myself. There's one that was fast asleep. This is what you have to watch for, these youngsters belting across the road like that. So easy to hit one. As you can see, this is a real little crofting community, sheep all over the place. There's probably cows off somewhere. People with polytunnels. Living out this part of the world, you have to be fairly self-sufficient and self-reliant. So what we're looking at is the Isles of Egg, Rum, and in the foreground muck, and known as collectively as the Small Isles, and access to them is from Mallaig, where there is a ferry. But they're small, remote western communities. And this is Sanna, the settlement of Sanna. The vast majority of these properties here are holiday homes. They're not lived in. And this is the first glimpse of Sanna Bay. The settlement opposite is called Portuic, but we're looking out. There's Mull in the distance there, and across the distant horizon are the Outer Hebrides, and then America. Someone's enjoying it. Go back to the beach. Go back. There's a good boy. Druidry is a nature-based Druidry is a nature-based spirituality. We have 8 festivals spaced throughout the year, roughly every 6 weeks. And we celebrate those festivals so that we are able to come into harmony not only with the changing cycles of the year itself, but also the changing cycles of our own lives. There is a constant flux, a constant circular motion to all things. So the next part of the cycle will be to celebrate the autumn equinox on the 21st or thereabouts of September. So thank you for coming this far with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing the area in which I live. I felt this first episode was necessary to set the scene and the context Because as a Druid, if I was to simply launch into Druidry, then I feel it would be difficult for some people to understand the nuances of our life. Subsequent episodes will deal with how we came to get here, and there's quite a story behind that, because initially we lived on a small island for 3.5 years, and the circumstances of ending up there were very much subject to Druid magic, really, and this isn't clickbait. Once we've got through that, then I will introduce you and explain about the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, which my wife and myself are both members of, and how that interacts with our lives. And then we can look at together how my life works out here, what we do, how it works, the things we get up to, the ceremonies, and the joy of living in such a wonderful place. So if you enjoyed it, click the subscribe, click the notifications, and give me a like, and I'll see you when the next episode comes out, which will probably be in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.